All right, you walk outside, your coffee's in your hand, you're ready to enjoy a nice morning in your yard, and then you see them. Holes all over your lawn. Some are tiny, some are big, and you have no idea where they came from. Sound familiar? Well, you're not alone. Lawn damage is a common frustration for many homeowners, and the good news is those holes aren't really that much of a mystery. There's always a reason, and today we're going to figure out what's causing them and what you can do about it, and how you can prevent your yard from looking like a construction zone. Let's start with the size of the holes. That's your first big clue. If they're small holes from 1 to 3 inches wide, then they are probably wildlife visitors. Those guys are looking for food. Usual suspects: squirrels, birds, and insects. Squirrels love to dig little holes when they're burying or digging up acorns and nuts, and in the spring and fall, they're extra active. They're getting ready for those cold months. Birds, on the other hand, they're going to peck those small holes into the ground when they're hunting for insects. And speaking of insects, grubs can be a big issue in your yard too. If your yard has a grub problem, it's like an all-you-can-eat buffet for raccoons, skunks, and armadillos. Those guys are going to dig up patches of grass in order to get to those grubs. Now, if you've got medium holes, then you might be dealing with skunks or raccoons. Since they love grubs, but they also dig for worms and other insects, those are the guys who are leaving those kinds of holes. A skunk's calling card: small cone-shaped holes in the soil. If the turf looks like it's been peeled back, almost like someone was lifting up the carpet, then you probably got a raccoon. So get rid of the food source. That's how you're going to fix this. You treat your lawn for grubs, because no food means no unwanted guests digging around looking for a snack. Now, if you have large holes 5 inches or more, or if they're tunnels, then you've got burrowing animals. You may have moles, voles, groundhogs, or even rabbits. Moles create underground tunnels that leave volcano-shaped mounds of dirt behind. These guys are pros at aerating your lawn, whether you like it or not. Voles, on the other hand, stick closer to the surface, and they create runways through your grass that look like little trails. If you see a big gaping hole, you might be dealing with a groundhog, also known as a woodchuck. I still don't know how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood. But these animals create burrows that can go as deep as 5 feet underground, and they stretch more than 30 feet. So that's a serious construction project happening right under your lawn. So how do you get rid of them? Well, it depends on what you got. For moles, you want to reduce their food source like grubs and earthworms and encourage them to move on. If they don't have anything to eat, they're leaving. For voles, cleaning out tall grass and brush, that can help, because they love to hide behind that, and they like to hide in there, and if you get rid of it, then maybe they will leave. And for larger animals like groundhogs, you're going to need to install fencing, or maybe use some humane traps to relocate them, and make sure that you're following your local wildlife regulations. You might need to call somebody to get rid of them. Now, if you're noticing holes near the base of the trees or near your fences or your home's foundation, then that's a different story. That could be the work of rats, chipmunks, or even carpenter ants. Chipmunks dig burrows where they can safely stash their food, and they can sleep in these burrows too. Rats tend to stay closer to the buildings, creating underground tunnels to move around undetected. If the holes are right up against your house, you'll want to check the foundation for cracks or for entry points, because the last thing you want is an unwanted guest sneaking inside your house. Sometimes these holes have nothing to do with wildlife at all. If your lawn is developing small holes, especially after a heavy rain, you could just be dealing with erosion. That's when water washes away the topsoil and it leaves behind little depressions, which can get worse over time. So you want to aerate and fill these spots with fresh soil and grass seed. And if your lawn has sudden sinkholes appearing, that could be a sign of rotting tree roots. They could be underground rotting, and even old construction debris could be breaking down underneath the surface of the lawn. If the holes seem to be getting bigger, it's probably worth calling out a professional to get some advice. All right, now that we know what's causing the damage, how do we stop it from happening again? The first thing you can do is keep your lawn healthy. A strong, healthy lawn is your best defense. If you keep your grass thick and you treat it for pests and you water it regularly, you're going to reduce the chances of wildlife moving in and making themselves at home. The second thing you can do is limit food sources. If you have bird feeders, don't let that seed spill onto the ground, because it attracts rodents. And if you have fruit trees, you've got to clean up that fallen fruit quickly. The third thing you can do is secure your yard with fences. They help keep out larger animals especially. Just make sure that the fencing goes at least a foot underground to stop those burrowers from sneaking in. And the fourth thing you can do is use natural repellents, things like garlic, castor oil, and predator urine. Yep, that's a thing. That can deter moles and other unwanted guests. At the end of the day, keeping your lawn hole-free takes a little detective work. You've also got to do some basic maintenance and a few strategies to keep those unwanted guests away. If you want more home maintenance tips, exclusive homeowner deals, and access to thousands of products for your home at wholesale pricing, check out homemembership.com. With a free membership, you'll get access to advice, savings, and everything you need to keep your home in great shape. Visit homemembership.com today and start making home ownership a little bit easier.